Every day, we face a sea of decisions. Some are small and unimportant, while others, like selecting a political candidate or a new diet, carry significant weight. We are bombarded with so many choices that relying purely on instinct for a perfect outcome every time is impossible. But there are ways to improve our chances. We can use a 5-step critical thinking matrix to deconstruct a situation, reveal hidden biases, and isolate the best option in under 5 minutes. To prepare, grab a piece of paper or open a blank digital document. Divide your page into 5 distinct numbered boxes. Now, bring one specific, difficult decision you are currently facing to the front of your mind. Mapping a mental dilemma onto a physical framework replaces reactive guessing with structured evaluation. Step 1 is formulating your question. You will record this in box 1. In other words, you have to know exactly what you are looking for. This is rarely as straightforward as it sounds. Asking, "Should I try this diet?" is a surface-level action. Your actual reasons for considering it might be obscured by other factors. Instead, cross out the action itself and write down the specific, measurable outcome you want to achieve, whether that is weight loss, better nutrition, or having more energy. That brings us to step 2, gathering your information, which goes right here in box 2. The primary failure point here is gathering too much random data or falling for marketing claims that promise your results in just 2 weeks. To avoid that trap, restrict your list to expert advice and verifiable testimonies that directly satisfy the specific goal you established in step 1. Clearly defining your metric of success equips you to sift through the available information. It creates a filter that prevents irrelevant data or flashy marketing from hijacking your decision. Step 3 is applying the information. In box 3, you will subject your remaining options to severe negative scrutiny. To audit your options, ask yourself 3 core questions. What concepts are at work? What assumptions exist? And is my interpretation logically sound? Take an email that promises you millions. You might assume the sender is telling the truth, but check the assumptions shaping your approach. Based on the evidence, it's illogical to assume you'll win any money. The core assumption fails the test. Look closely at your own decision right now. Write down one personal assumption or bias you are bringing to the table, such as choosing an option because of a celebrity endorsement. Effective critical thinking requires ruthlessness. You must actively try to break your own preferred options to discover which ones are truly robust. Move to box 4 for step 4, considering the long-term implications. Immediate gratification blinds us to compounding, unintended consequences. Imagine a candidate promises cheaper gas. At first glance, that short-term relief is appealing, but less restricted gasoline use could cause a huge surge in air pollution, a hidden consequence you must account for. Look past the immediate relief of your choice. Identify one unintended, long-term consequence and write it down in box 4. Finally, we reach our last milestone, step 5, exploring other points of view in box 5. It is easy to get trapped in an echo chamber, where the first instinct is to immediately dismiss opposing candidates or alternative options. Instead, deliberately explore the full spectrum of viewpoints. Force yourself to write down the absolute strongest, most logical argument against your preferred choice. You do not have to agree with everything the opposition says, but you must be able to articulate why those policies appeal to others. Anticipating future fallout and validating the logic of the opposition results in a more defensible final choice. Now, take a step back and look at your completed 5-box matrix. You have defined your real goals, filtered out the marketing noise, checked your personal blind spots, mapped the long-term fallout, and audited the alternatives. Notice the shift in your thinking. You are no longer choosing an option simply because it feels right. Take the documented outcome on your paper and use it to execute your pending decision today. Keep this framework handy. It will not eradicate difficult choices, but using it regularly helps increase the frequency of positive, informed decisions.